All right, let's talk Michigan Wolverines. We're heading into a big year for Michigan. Obviously, exciting finish to 2024. Now's the time to build off of that momentum as we get ready for the 2025 season. And we're starting to see the early returns from some of the new additions to the Wolverines program. And there's one in particular that's really impressing this coaching staff. He's off to a great start. We'll talk about that in just a second. But first, I'm Nick, and this is Saturday Morning Inspection. All right, we all know Michigan had a really good recruiting class. Credit to Sharon Moore and his entire staff, bringing a lot of quality players up to Ann Arbor. Again, building off of that momentum to finish the 2024 season. And now we're starting to see some of these recruits get off to solid starts. We've seen this across the country, but right now, all eyes are focused on one person, primarily at Michigan, and that is going to be the most likely new leader of this program, the franchise quarterback. That's Bryce Underwood. Let's pull up this report here and hear what Sharon Moore had to say about how impressive Underwood has been. This is from 24/7 Sports. Obviously, any conversation about the room with media right now is about to begin with Underwood, who was the number one overall recruit in the 2025 recruiting class and has a chance to start day one with the Wolverines. But before that battle begins March 18th, wow, spring ball is coming up pretty quickly, Moore likes the work ethic and humility Underwood has shown so far. I mean, I think just to get to talk to him, to be around him, to grow with him, Moore said, the kid is an amazing human being. He's extremely selfless. He's extremely humble, and all he wants to do is work, and that's all he wants to do. So you see this number one player in the country. You have this vision of what it could be, and he's the exact opposite of the prima donna. I think I got all the answers guy. I mean, the guy is the first guy in the building. He's the last one out. He you got to tell him to get out of the building. Like, and he told us that he's like, you're going to have to tell me to leave. And the dude just does not want to leave the building. And he's an awesome, awesome teammate, awesome player, and excited to watch him. Wow, incredible statement there from Sharon Moore. Again, Bryce Underwood could be a prima donna. Looks like he's the exact opposite. And I think right now it's clear to say he is the favorite to be the next QB1 in Ann Arbor. Miles, I'm curious what your thoughts are on the story. But first, Michigan fans in the comment section below, outside of Bryce Underwood, because he's the easy one, give us your favorite freshman in the 2025 class, the guys the Wolverines added to this program that you think will be a star for the Mason Blue. Give us your favorite non-Underwood freshman. Put them in the comments section below. But Mize, over to you. What are your thoughts on this latest news out of Michigan?
Yeah, Nate, I think this is the perfect update for Michigan fans because when you look at Bryce Underwood, number one recruit in the country, perfect size, 6'3.5", 6'4", about 205 pounds, great size for a quarterback, great arm strength, great physical tools. You know, the comps people say he's like comparable to a guy like Vince Young. So he's got great legs, great mobility, strong arm. We knew what he was going to do physically. We knew what he had the ability to do when he came into this program. The thing we didn't know is how hard of a worker is he going to be? Is he going to be the guy that football came easy to him? He doesn't really have to do too much. Is he going to come in? Is he going to be, just, oh, I got to do the bare minimum. My God given ability is going to help me out on the field. Is he going to be the guy to be like, I know more than you. I know what to do. I was great in high school. I don't need to listen to these coaches. I don't need to do that. Is that going to be the case? And I think we've got a lot of really good answers so far about Bryce Underwood, especially from head coach from Moore, the most important guy you want to hear from, saying not a prima donna. The guy is an extremely hard worker. Literally the first guy in, last guy, he told him, you're going to have to tell me to leave the building. I'm going to be here as long as it takes to do whatever it takes. Very humble, very willing to listen to the coaches. I just think this is the best update you could have got on Underwood because I can tell you we're gonna see spring ball. He's gonna make some crazy throws in practice. We're gonna hear about him making some play with his legs, do something like that. That's all okay. I think that's fine because that's not what's important. What's important is what was his mentality like coming into this program. It kind of gets to people's head when you're the number one ranked recruit in the country. You can get a big head a couple times. I think a guy that I find similar was like Spencer Rattler, very highly ranked recruit, and he came into Oklahoma, and I think he got a big head, and then he gets replaced by Caleb Williams, kind of spirals a little bit, and it took him a while to rebound at South Carolina. I think that's a really good, interesting answer of what can happen when you're highly rated and you get too big of a head. Seems like Bryce Underwood, this is not the case with this young man. It seems like he's got everything under control. He's doing all of the right things, and you're hearing everything you want to hear about him. So I think when you hear this update about Bryce Underwood, this is what you should be the most excited about.
Yeah, everything you said there, I agree with 100%, right? And one of the things I think to really highlight here, Sharon Moore is not known as a guy to, not be a straight shooter. He is an honest guy. He comes from that hardball mold, 100% to a T, where he calls it as he sees it, motions on his sleeve, right? That's just who he is as a human being. That's who he is as a coach. That's who he is as a man. And the fact that he's saying these things, he's not making this up, right? We know Moore's not one of these guys just to pump stuff in front of the media, just to hype up his own players, just to say the right thing and stuff like that. That's not who Sharon Moore is at all. We've all seen him, of course, in front of the media a bunch of times. He calls it as he sees it 99 times out of 100. Really, I would say 100 times out of 100, but there may be one instance where he was a little political. This ain't it, right? This is a guy in Sharon Moore who is truly impressed with Underwood. And I always talk about it when it comes to quarterbacks. Sometimes it's not about what you physically can do, it's about what you mentally won't do. Do you have the ability to have the discipline to come in and put in that extra work and the ability to humble yourself? There's a lot of really physically gifted quarterbacks at the collegiate level, right? We see them every year. I mean, you look at the highlights of all these freshmen and all these young kids coming in, like all these guys can run fast, throw it a mile, have great arms, have cannons, right? They all do, right? The reality is, do you have the mental fortitude and the mental discipline to be the equivalent of an NFL franchise quarterback, which is what it takes to be the winning quarterback at Michigan, right? You're following a tough standard because, of course, Tom Brady went to Michigan, right? That is the model. Everyone looks at, can you be the Tom Brady? Can you be the guy, that right head on your shoulders, to lead the guys on the field on Saturdays, to be the face of the franchise 6 other days out of the week while also outworking everybody else? That is incredibly daunting. It's hard for anybody to do. It'd be hard for me to do, let alone some 17, 18-year-old kid in Underwood. But so far, he seems to be off to an incredible, incredible start. Sharon Moore's comments, I think they speak very powerfully to what Underwood's career will look like for the Maize and Blue. And folks, you should be really excited. Again, it's early. A lot of things can happen. We'll have to see how things shake out, of course, during spring ball, during the summer workouts, and of course, training camp. But so far, so good with Underwood and the Michigan Wolverines.